I'm going to ask you, and I hope to only ask you once, you guys ready for your headlining debate tonight or what? Look at that! Only had to ask one time. Our headlining debate this evening is pain versus pleasure. On the side of pain, please put your hands together for a piece of filth, Denver's only black serial killer, everybody. Round of applause for a piece of filth. You look dirty. And on the side of pleasure, this guy, he just got added to the show last minute. Nice round of applause. Please put your hands together for Stimulus Maximus, everybody. Oh, man, I am going to be very stimulus because I am seeing some nip already. Welcome, Stimulus. Thank you. Okay. Going first, a piece of filth.
Sorry. Sometimes I forget it's on because it's so pleasurably painful. Got to make sure I tilt it to the east side. Pleasure is clearly not as good as pain because pain is pleasure for everyone, not just me. Not just for a piece of filth, everyone. I love pain so much. If I was a slave, I'd do everything wrong. Underground Railroad? No, thank you. I'd run away and then just stop. Sit in a field and wait to come. Nobody suspects me, generally. Nobody suspects me during the day. I'm just Reginald, your everyday boardwalk cartoonist. But at night, I become piece of filth, trolling South Broadway, hoping to get arrested. I'm like a superhero. It's empowering. Pain is empowering. Like a superhero. Like if Batman spent his money just a little bit differently. I'm a scumbag extraordinaire. How many of you can say that? You can't. Out there pleasuring yourselves, not even understanding what pain can be. I'm just going to hold these pauses and make them real creepy. Why would you want to feel good all the time? Why would you ever want to feel good all the time? Who am I, Hanson? Or Pharrell? You want to know what real pain is? It's that song Happy. I don't know if you knew this, but there was a story recently about a girl on the East Coast who was driving her car, and she was posting to Facebook about how much she loved the song Happy. And then she ran headfirst into an 18-wheeler and died. And that made me happy.
It's better. It's much better. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stimulus Maximus, carnal explorer extraordinaire, spelunker of orifici, astronaut of overindulgence, the Pope of perversion. I must say, Kevin O'Brien, I'm a little nonplussed at the way you treat the participants of these arguments, this contest of wits. Normally, when I am asked to perform, I am provided with a traveling couch and 4 rippling Turkish men to carry it. And if I am forced to walk, it is on a pathway of rose petals and pizza slices, thrown at my feet by peasant children. But no, I was forced to ride here in a lift with a buxom but ultimately closed-minded octogenarian woman whom ejected me from the car mere seconds into my pre-debate frosting enema, of which there was plenty of room to perform in the back seat. I had to ride a homeless man the rest of the way here. He's parked outside. We're here today to discuss why pleasure is so much more delightful than pain, even though the line between the two is often slippery with oils and various creamy salves and bodily ejecta. Pleasure means different things to different people. Some people will tell you that pleasure is simply the body reacting to certain chemicals within the body. Dopamine, serotonin, Nutella, brandy, heroin. And to those people I say, oh. To a poor man, pleasure can be as simple as finding a crust of bread, or a nice warm place to sleep, or not having to dance while my fiend Tortuga whips his feet and I laugh and clap and throw figs at him. That's pleasure to some people. Now, my tastes are obviously a bit more complex. Once, while touring the Greek Isles aboard my pleasure yacht, the Curious Seaman, I met a wise man who claimed to take only pleasure in the simplest joys of life. Now, I'm not one to overlook simple pleasures, a quiet, low-key, interspecies bacchanalia with friends, a nice warm glass of dolphin blood, or crushing a bird in your hand. Now, he went on to explain that that's not what he was talking about at all. He preferred pleasures such as watching the sunrise, or hearing the laughter of children, or a loved one's embrace from a friend, or a loved one's embrace. Confounded, I screamed at him, "Bring me those things so that I can own them and put them in my pleasure zoo." When he explained to me that these things cannot be owned, I said, "Oh, good. I was hoping you'd make me angry." Tortuga, add him to the flesh. Add him to the flesh harem, as I am so fond of saying. That's my first round.
You all laugh. But would you really want to spend any time with this gentleman? Of course not. It's all slippery salves and various forms of other serfdom and enjoyment of serfdom. Not other serfdom, that wouldn't make any sense. But couldn't enjoy his company because people that are happy all the time are the worst. They're the worst. Have you ever been around somebody that loves mornings? It's like talking to a ferret. Or worse, Kelly Ripa. That happy bitch. It's misery that loves company. Misery. Why do you think all the miserable people are the ones that are the most fun and do the coolest shit? Would you rather hang out with Amy Winehouse and Jimi Hendrix or skip stones and eat peanut butter and jelly with that bitch Bruno Mars? He's gonna live forever, but I don't think any of us should be happy about it. That's true of all music. Or do you like art? Maybe you're art fans. Are you hipsters? Are you art fans? Van Gogh seem happy to you? Seem like he was enjoying pleasure? Or did some of the greatest shit come from pain? Clearly did. Obviously. Particularly the pain of having no ears. Richard Pryor and Chris Farley or Dane Cook? Think about it. The list goes on and on. You know, Kevin called me the only black serial killer in Denver, and I suppose that's true. I think we all know that we never suspect anyone being black of being a serial killer. I think we all know that's true. I think we definitely know that's true. It's like, remember the guy, the black guy that helped those young white girls out of that basement? Remember that? He had that glorious perm, oiled up with all the oils that Jordan uses frequently. And what did he say? He said, I knew something was wrong when those white girls ran to my black ass. And that's how I lure them in. Because my serial killing is mostly relegated to white chicks that won't go out with me. Speaking of which, ma'am, you want to go to dinner.
You remember. First of all, I don't know who this Jordan is, but if he's as oily as you say, I must meet him. Sounds slippery. That's what I was. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a scientist of pleasure. I've always had an immense appetite for the pleasure of all things. As a child, I would not accept milk from my mother's teat unless she was drunk and fat on duck confit. Which she so often was. Because she lived in a cage and that's all they fed her. She's a human version of foie gras. At the tender age of 8, I found that normal activities simply bored me. And I started plumbing the depths of carnal possibility in search of ever more exotic adventures. In subsequent years, I've developed tastes so obscene that new laws had to be invented, so I couldn't do them anymore. I've had sex with everything from a school of seahorses to Abraham Lincoln's stovepipe hat. I've eaten the rarest of animals. I've successfully trapped and eaten the mighty Jabberwocky. 'Twas I. I met Regis Philbin. I developed a way to turn pizza into liquor. It's terrible. I also employ a full-time flesh harem, working around the clock to search out new orifices and positions and angles and exclamations and sexual polyrhythms. Through their tireless undulations, we have discovered such sexual maneuvers as the no grandma don't, the toddler and the highwayman, Tarzan's conundrum, the reverse bomber clout, the full Nelson Mandela, the sticky wicket, and of course, our crowning achievement, the Encino Man, which is where you flash freeze someone at the moment of orgasm. They come for 1,000 years. There's also a variation on this called the quantum skeet, which is where, through years of tantric meditation, you can learn to leap into the minds of other fucking people throughout the world at the moment they climax, each time hoping that the next leap is not the leap home. Now you may be thinking, stimulus erectus, you sound like you've got it all. You sound like you've got fortune, like you've got fame, like you've got a miniature manatee named Ray LaFontaine who lives in a bathtub filled with sparkling pink wine. And you would be right about those things. But I have known pain. For instance, I just learned that my favorite orphanage doesn't deliver. I have known pain of losing a loved one in a vat of molten caramel. It hurts. And then we had to drain the caramel, and that hurt. And then I found a lot of lovers in the bottom of the caramel. And of course, I've known the worst pain of all. The hangnail. Excuse me. But luckily, the gods have given us a world wide of treats and pleasures to help you forget your woes. Plums and figs and kangaroos and water slides. Paper mache, Christmas hats and laser light Pink Floyd shows. For physical pain and discomfort, there's all manner of drugs and soothing balms and Band-Aids and Kermit the Frog Band-Aids and Hagar the Horrible Band-Aids. For the pain of hunger, all manner of sumptuous cakes and savory steaks. And for the pain of boredom, video games and night court. But there are certain pains that cannot be remedied, existential pain, spiritual ennui. And for that, I have compiled a list that I call 6 quick tips for smiling lips. Number 1, have a hobby, like origami, or gardening, or week-long pansexual trans-species bacchanals. Don't think of life in terms of what you have. Think of life in terms of who you are, and who you're in, and who's in them. Have my manservant, Tortuga, carry me to the top of the hill and then order him to fall down it. Don't live in the past. Live in a marvelous palazzo in Rome. Keep your friends close and your enemies on a floating prison island. When speaking in conversation, ask more questions. Do you like chocolate? Where do you like chocolate? Who's inside who right now? Good night, everybody. My name is Stimulus Maxim.
Man. I don't know about you guys, but I want to find more about that full Nelson Mandela. Feel like it's bringing a lot of things together. All right, you got to pick a winner. If you're on the side of pain, let's hear it for a piece of filth, you guys. So filthy. Also, if you're looking for anonymous sex later, he's clearly ready to go. And if you're on the side of pleasure, let's hear it for Stimulus Maximus. Oh, man. Stimulus Maximus is your winner. Big round of applause for these guys and everybody else you've seen tonight in Vine Street Pub. We'll be back next month, third Sunday of every month. Godspeed, everybody.